Welcome, friends. Hello, foes. My name's Mattio, and today we're going to be doing some more of the Plague Parable, the working title for this little campaign we've started. We're not going to do like we did last time and put off introductions until halfway into the campaign. Instead, let's go ahead and get to know everyone now. Starting with myself, I'm Matiorasu. I'm the Red Panda who, runs the channel, uploads the videos. Not very talented outside of that, but, yeah, I'm here, and I'm the DM. Aku, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Caleb. I go by Better Than Caleb on pretty much every other platform, especially YouTube, where I play Aku, a brother in rogue, who's kind of a dick, kind of just hanging out and getting money. That's kind of the gist of him for right now.
Fair enough. What's going on with Beatrix?
Yeah, I'm Atropine Dreams, playing Beatrix, Vulpine Sorceress. Very much not your typical hero, just sort of accidentally her way into the position she is while trying to avoid all the trouble she's constantly getting herself into.
Beautiful. Manuelo, what you got going on?
Hi everybody, I'm Brian. I play the Sloth Wizard Manuelo. Give me a second. Manuelo Moses Goyena. He's just the funky wizard who wants to make a map of the entire world. And he just wandered into this, honestly. He heard it was a way to explore the world, and that's all.
And last but not least, our lovely Gabriel.
Alright. Hey everybody, I'm KosmoMitch. I do on occasion stream on Twitch, but right now work has been destroying me, so that's been much less frequent than it used to be. But here I am playing Gabriel. He is a ferret druid who, this is basically his first time being outside of his hometown and away from the islands where he's used to living.
I definitely relate to not having been able to stream much because of work. Definitely a pain.
Yeah.
All these lovely people, at least those who have given me their YouTube and Twitch stuff, you can find them in the description alongside anything else I have for you guys between now and then. But getting into the session, you guys awake at the inn in Golden Tide. You've had an interesting start to your journey, no doubt. Had a run-in with the mortal avatar of the god Verasta. You have a magical cat of unknown origin and unknown intent. And you've managed to murder a man in the city of Golden Tide's undermarket. What a fine start we've gotten ourselves off to, but either way, blissfully ignorant to your escapades, Morgan sits in the dining hall, enjoying some nice breakfast of salted pork and toast. I would have you guys roll initiative, but I'm pretty sure there is one person in particular who would like to be the early starter, yes? Wrong campaign, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
I was gonna say.
Man, the best way to get confused.
I honestly, for a second, I was like, is that me? Did I say
Yeah,
something?
did we have a conversation I forgot about?
Yeah. I mean, there's a dirty 20 on the table. What do we expect?
Fair enough. Gabriel, you wake first in your room. in your room upstairs of the tavern itself. How are you going about your day so far?
So, the first thing I'm doing is going back to that pouch of coins, the counterfeit coins that we ended up getting swindled with, and just I spend like a couple minutes staring at it, kind of dumbfounded still. And then after that, I'm going to just head out of the room downstairs over to the kitchen and notice that there's significantly better food than we'd had in the past yesterday, and run straight towards the food area.
Fair enough. Morgan notices you and your eagerness to get at the food, and you can hear a faint chuckle. Well, good morning to you too, Gabriel. Are you ready to...
Good morning.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, just good morning.
Are you ready to make your way to the Trade League?
Well, I want to fill up on as much as I can first so that I don't have to have any of this leftover hardtack. But after that, theoretically, yes.
Then get your fill.
Alright.
Don't know how many stops we'll be able to make between here and there, but we'll see.
Alright, and then I'll, sit across the table from her and get started eating.
Atropine. Beatrix, you're up next. How are you going about your day?
Well, considering where we're going, she's probably starting her day with a fucking champion's breakfast of coffee, cigarettes, and liquor. She gets up and heads downstairs to enjoy her last few moments of peace before the road.
What a breakfast that is. Still, Morgan gives you the same polite greeting, giving you a look over and saying, "Are you feeling okay?"
I mean, as good as ever. Little, apprehensive about our work and where it takes us, but only so much to be done about it.
I suppose I understand. Just do try to take care of yourself.
Isn't that what I'm doing? She says as she pounds back a shot.
She gives a polite and nervous chuckle as she looks away from you.
Gabriel's gonna just, with his mouth full, "Come on, Beatrix, you gotta try the pork, it's incredible." And then run over to grab her a plate.
Oh.
And then bring it back and shove it eagerly in front of her.
She just smiles very gently up at you and is like, "Thank you, Gabriel." And she will, I suppose, slowly start taking some small bites here and there.
Aku would be the next to wake. A little later than the others, it would seem he and Manuelo have managed to sleep in this morning. Though, Aku won't keep you long. What you up to, Aku?
I think probably the night before, he didn't really do a whole lot of, taking out things, or even really changing clothes at all, so I think he probably is able to just roll out of bed and then head down food for himself, and I think he probably gets, one of everything he can get his hands on. And then if everyone is still at a table or whatnot, he'll just sit down, not really say anything, but just kind of start eating.
Morgan will... I mean, I guess Morgan doesn't have to remark on everything, but she will note that your plate is piled high with one of everything, per your description, and remark, all that for yourself. Are all brethren so hungry?
Well, no, but good food, I imagine, is gonna get harder to come by as the days go on, so might as well savor it while I can and pocket what I can't finish today.
There is wisdom in that, she says. And finally, we have our boy Manuelo, who was woken up much later than the rest of the party. If the rest of you were up by 8 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, Manuelo was up at 9:30.
Manuel is just gonna sit up before slowly making his way down.
Morgan, who has been waiting for you at this point for quite some time, looks up at you and says, "Oh dear. Please do tell me you're not going to do this every day. We've got to make good time if we want to solve this problem of ours."
Manuela's gonna look flustered before going, sorry, I won't.
Good. Looking over the party, she says, "You all didn't seem to make it back to the inn, well, at all last night. What were you all doing so late?"
Gabriel's going to stare down at the table, avoiding eye contact. Some of the people around here asked for us to run a couple errands for them, so we were doing that for a bit.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're making yourself useful to the locals. I just, it would have been nice to at least hear from you all. I was afraid you'd gotten lost.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. If you don't mind me asking, what did you need to take care of while we were in town anyway?
Gathering supplies, for one thing, to ensure that we wouldn't be hungry or thirsty on the way out. And I wanted some tools to maintain the wagon. Bad things can happen out there, you see.
Oh. Okay.
Now, if I may, she says, setting a scroll on the table in front of her and rolling it out. What she shows you is a marked up map of the entirety of the continent. She gestures to the space between... Sorry, I should have had this prepared as well. To the space between Golden Tide and Arloris, which has been marked with 3 different arrows, each taking different paths through the mountains, the Bedamere Mountains that lie between. If I can direct your attention to the tabletop group chat in the Discord, and for those of you watching, it should be popping up on screen about now. If you're watching the VOD, sorry stream folks, you get nothing.
Oh no.
So, the blue line is the northern path. It would allow us a trip to Salet or to Mother's Head if we wanted to make the stops. Still, we'd be traveling through one of the more militant outposts for the Trade League on the border. The Red Arrow is, well, the more dangerous path. Cutting straight through the Bedimir Mountains. It would get us there in about 2 days, but who knows what we might find along the way. And the Yellow Route, more pragmatic. It's going to be more strenuous on our supplies, but it's no doubt the safer option. Cutting us through Monster Meadow and between the mountains, away from both potentially hostile forces and potentially hostile creatures. Which way we go is your choice, though. You all are the investigating party.
Well, I say we take this one. Beatrix says, pointing at the yellow route. Anything that helps us avoid monsters and sell swords is well worth it in my book.
Manuel is just going to nod his head while he's eating a little bit of breakfast.
So, you said it's gonna take a lot of supplies. Are we currently... do you think we have enough to make the full trip, or do we need to either stock up here still or grab stuff partway through?
Well, all I mean is that it isn't a guaranteed safe route as far as supplies go. We would be cutting it kind of close as we arrived in Arloris, but the sacrifice truly would be gold. We would need to restock as soon as we arrived.
Okay, well, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, worth considering if we have the gold to resupply.
Well, the Delver's finances are none of my business. But discuss amongst yourselves and let me know what you decide, yes?
Will do.
We will.
And with that, she will leave you all be.
Alright, well, if the main issue with that route is going to be gold, then we need to figure out how much gold we have to resupply afterwards. What's everybody looking at?
I have 15 gold. Of course, not including the fake.
Right.
I'm sitting with 6 gold to my name currently. Not exactly going on the trek to my pocket.
Okay, I have 27 left right now.
Okay, and I have 40 and a ring of unknown value. And I need to get appraised.
Okay.
I feel like that should be enough for a resupply. We should be good with that.
Mm-hmm. And besides, I'm sure that if we get into town and are short on money, someone here will figure out something around that, and I kind of just give somewhere between probably more of just a judgmental look over to Beatrix.
Judgmental. Well, I'm sure you're right. I mean, always a bit of money to be found somewhere, and if not, always a bit of money to be made.
So I suppose we're decided on this southernmost path.
Yeah, unless anyone has any significant objections. Everyone seems to be in agreement.
Yeah, that works for me.
Very well. The yellow path it is, then. You report the news to Morgan, who gives you an understanding nod. Then, we are ready to set out when you are. Just give the word, okay?
All right. Anyone got anything they need to do in town before we head out?
No, I think after our escapades yesterday, it might be best if we take our leave.
Yeah, before consequences catch up. Fair point.
Manuel is just like nodding his head, just like, go. We need to go.
Okay.
Before anyone finds out what's up with the charred corpse.
No, we burned that thing to it was only bones, and they started melting. So we hid those pretty well. There's no way anyone's gonna find them.
Just Beatrix and Manuelo in a back alley behind a fucking undermarket casino. Firebolt, firebolt, firebolt.
Horrifying.
Yeah,
Wait.
the news that the bones melted from how much fire catches Gabriel off guard there. But he doesn't say anything in response.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean about the body? Nothing happened with it. Nothing.
But yeah, Gabriel's gonna get packed up and go check on the cat before we start heading out.
Yeah. Beatrix is pretty much gonna do the same. Get all packed up and then just head to the wagon and wait for everybody else to be ready.
The cat rests lazily on... Let me roll a die right quick. On Caleb's bed, curled up in a neat little ball, right on top of his pillow.
I just kind of stare at it. You know you're gonna have to move at some point.
The cat regards you only with a flick of its tail and a flick of its ear.
I just sit down on my bed for now.
Yeah. I'm gonna motion to see if I can convince the cat to come over to me.
The cat is unable to see you motioning, for its eyes are closed.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it rest for now then.
Alright.
Can I roll to guesstimate how much this cat weighs?
Oh no.
You don't have to roll for that. It's at most 2.5, 3 pounds.
Manuel is just like hearing while he's packing his stuff. The talking to the cat, and he's just going to quickly just like
I know
use
where,
mage hand.
I was about to say I know where this is going.
Manuel is gonna quickly use mage hand and carefully scoop up the cat before just like picking them up so then they can pack up.
As you can imagine, the cat is less than pleased. It opens its eyes, hisses, and attempts to swat at someone before realizing there is no one to swat at. Simply a pair of hands scooping it up and moving it away. It seems perturbed until it is set safely back on the ground. Or wherever it was you said it. I'm sorry, I forgot where you said.
I'm just holding it up so then they can finish packing before putting the cat back down on the bed.
Okay.
Aku just kind of like looks towards Manuelo and does like that slight head nod, and then finishes getting his stuff together.
Alright. Sorry, I could have said in Morgan's little briefing how long each of those routes would take. The path that leads south of Golden Tide and upward through the mountains is going to be a path of about 6 days. If you would like to, throw caution to the wind and just try to gun it through the mountains, you can make that a bit faster, but you will lose advantage on your event rolls if you choose that path, mind. So, that said, what do we have a preference for our pace as we begin to travel?
I don't think sprinting is a good idea.
Yeah,
I'd say probably just like a moderate pace.
Yeah.
yeah, the world seems already pretty fucked by this plague, so us fucking ourselves over rushing is not going to help anyone.
Agreed.
In more case, it could just screw us over, so who knows what could happen.
Right.
Alright. You head southeast to avoid the ridge just south of Golden Tide until you come upon the Decraw River. By now, you are in fields of tall grass. One large standing hill to your left side you might recognize as Patry. And to the east, the river runs, to the west, the river runs south and west until it reaches the lake of Baichalak. You have a choice to make. How will you get your wagon across this river?
There's not a bridge?
Not visible here. Perhaps
Uh-huh.
closer to civilization, maybe.
We can walk the riverbed a little bit each way to see if there's anywhere shallow enough to just get it across. If not, anyone got any ideas for how we're getting this wagon over the water?
Not yet, but I'll see if I can think of something.
I think finding somewhere shallow is going to be our best and probably only bet.
Right.
Alright. Roll some survival, gang.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
In real life, I'd be fine, but in here, I might be screwed.
Okay, that's wisdom. Oh, no.
Nice.
Gabriel, you quickly find a place where the water rises not but a couple inches, a place where it is more than safe to ford the river.
Okay. Well, when we do that, I'll sprint back over towards the wagon and wave to the others to motion them towards that way.
And, we'll just follow, I guess.
Very well. About midday now, heading south through the Kingdom of Alamance. In the distance, you can now see the vista of the First and the accompanying town of Granfield. Well, I say town. It's almost the same size as Golden Tide. Out there in the distance, you can see wagons moving to and fro. Perhaps it was one of the places better suited to deal with the outbreak. Either way, you don't see many of what you would revere as infected, or sorry, not revere, recognize as infected, walking about. It's quite a ways away, but it's there. Assuming you choose to ignore it, you'll continue to move southwest into Monster Meadow proper.
Yeah, I don't think we have any reason to go into town, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Righto.
Manuelo's looking giddy at this town, and I guess as we're passing by, he's like, quick map.
Quick map. You head southwest along the bank of, around the shores of the Bajulak Lake, as the sun begins to set on your first day of travel. Morgan will kind of look back and say, I don't suppose it's much trouble to continue traveling. We've got light, as long as we need it, but if you guys want to go on into the night, I'm gonna need to swap places with someone.
Is there a better stopping point up ahead?
We could get into the Monster Meadow proper, but, well, beasts do wander that place. Mostly friendly, but do you want to take the chance?
If
Perhaps-
it's just,
Camp for the night.
What was that, Aku?
I was gonna say if it's just a matter of someone swapping, taking care of driving the wagon, I don't mind taking the point.
Morgan will look at you gratefully, but also regard the sentiments of the rest of your party. If you all want to make camp, that's fine too. We're not in any particular rush. Supplies are still good, and we're making good time.
Manuelo, Gabriel, what do you think?
Well, I mean, if it's only a little bit more to get to the meadow itself, and like she said, it still looks like we could probably make some progress. I guess it couldn't hurt to go at least a little bit further.
Manuel is just like, if we make it before it gets dark, we can set up camp, and then if anything, start a fire outside, and it'll keep the monsters away most likely.
Gabriel looks at him with a sinking feeling in his stomach.
Gabriel's just constantly judging.
No, not the fire duo.
I do think if we plan on stopping for the night, do it while we still have sunlight. So that way, like Manuel said, we can set up camp.
Yeah, agreed. Nothing worse than trying to set up camp in the fucking dark.
Yeah.
Alright. I take that to mean we're setting up camp by the Bajulak Lake. Or
Sounds good to me.
are we moving into Monster Meadow until dark?
I think let's go ahead and just set up camp by the lake.
Okay. Is everyone cool with that? Sorry, I shouldn't move forward on one person's opinion.
Yeah, it's
Camp
fine.
by the lake is safer.
Okay. Alright. So, Morgan will park the wagon alongside the Bajulak lake, giving it enough distance that any sudden change in tide isn't going to upset anything. He will begin gathering resources for a fire, including some nice manufactured-looking charcoal she must have picked up in Golden Tide. How are the rest of you conducting yourselves right now?
Gabriel's gonna head straight over to the lake shore and, just take a seat there with his toes in the water. Just kind of kicking it back and forth.
How about you, Manuelo?
Manuelo's over here, just as soon as we're setting up camp, he's going, grabbing some stuff for the fire as he's just like eager. But then remembering the body, and he's like, maybe not do magic this time?
Beatrix, how are you making camp?
Spending the evening trying to create some new ID documents for when we get to the trade league.
Ooh, tell me about that.
Just giving myself an alias, just, something, paperwork to show if I get questioned, and working on a story so that I have everything in order. She's very familiar with this kind of paperwork, so she's forged stuff like this 100 times before. She just tries to avoid going back to Vignette.
Alright. I'm sure this is more in the realm of a tool check. Although I'm not actually familiar enough with forgery to know what you would add to that besides your proficiency. Because I know you're proficient in that forgery kit, yes?
Yes.
And then, because this is so closely tied to your background, go ahead and take advantage on that as well.
Alright. So wait, what skill mod am I using for it?
That's the only thing I don't know.
Alright,
I'll look it up.
I think in this case, you just roll with the proficiency.
well, possibly, but also checks with these tools are dexterity based. So I think most tools and kits have a specific stat mod that you're supposed to use.
Yeah, I am not sure off the top of my head. I would assume deception, but I don't know for certain.
So, I've stumbled into nothing official, but an idea that I kind of like, that it's kind of a situational thing. So, to forge something resembling a complex, card of identity, and to make a believable forgery, go ahead and roll with your intelligence.
Oh no. I was worried you would say that. I still get my proficiency at least.
Proficiency and advantage.
Good thing I had that advantage. That's a
Oh
20.
shit! Yeah.
We would have been arrested immediately.
Oh no.
You would have been arrested.
We would have said we don't know you.
Oh, y'all just gonna let the cops take me if I get caught? I see how
Absolutely. You would do the exact same. Don't try and lie.
The last time I tried to help you, I ended up getting an axe in my shoulder. I'm sorry.
it is. Well, I don't. You
Don't start this. Don't start this.
All right, let's move on. With a 23, you guys, or rather, you, Beatrix, have created an excellent forgery. Not just for yourself, but for all members of your party, if you wish.
Oh no, I don't know of any reason why any of them would need it.
All
So
right.
no, she's making it for herself.
Okay. Fair enough. And finally, Aku, how are you making camp today?
He's helping mainly with gathering sort of firewood we might want to get, building some sort of campfire, maybe going off and finding logs. That way, if we want to take a seat by the fire, we can do that. Just basic making camp stuff.
All right. While you are out, Aku, Go ahead and make your choice of a nature or perception check.
I'm gonna do perception. 14.
14. Alright. Beneath one of the logs you pull up to bring towards the fire, you notice a small divot in the ground. A place where the earth has been pulled up and curves inward just under the grass here. It would seem you found some creature's den. Be it a fox, a rabbit, a snake, you're unsure.
Like, I don't suppose it's gonna be a huge problem, but something does.
Come again, Aku? You cut out there. Oh dear.
We seem to be experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Hey, streams
Everyone.
are always a mess.
Where
What was that, Aku?
and do you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Don't know what happened. I just said that I'm gonna put back whatever log that I picked up to uncover this den, and I am going to head back over to the group with whatever I've got and just say, hey, something does seem to live around here, something smaller, but just keep an eye out. It could be something.
Good looking out, Aku. Thanks for the heads up.
And as the night winds down, Morgan has set herself up by the fire, reheating some things that she herself took from the tavern. Her portion of pre-cooked salted pork sits in the pan, sizzling and giving off a nice savory scent. She'll turn her attention to each of you and say, so, first night out of the city, out of, well, the reach of Alamance proper. Seems like a decent time to get to know each other, yes?
Sure.
That's something you're all interested in doing.
I suppose. Make working together a bit easier, probably.
Probably.
Of course. I don't mean to pry into anyone's business. You all know a lot about me. I come from the East. I lived in a monastery before, well, coming out to investigate this plague, but truth be told, I don't know all that much about you guys. So, yeah. Does anyone have something they'd like to share?
Sure. So, I am basically like the only one of my family to study into the into the forest and nature of my home island. Everyone else works in the transport industry, so they are taking ships from island to island constantly. I was supposed to join them in those efforts, but I can't ride for more than 10 minutes on a ship without getting seasick, so I had to find a way to help some other way.
It's a noble effort for sure. Thank you for sharing, Gabriel. We would look over to Aku, Beatrix, and Manuelo now.
Well, I came to this world about 15 years ago and have been on my own pretty much since then, kind of doing whatever I needed to do to get by. And if that means fixing the whole problem with the plague, then that's what I am set on doing.
What do you think about the insinuation, this idea that some people have that the plague may in some way be related to brethren emerging in our world?
I say maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But if it is, do you plan on using whatever you can to put us back? Good luck. I don't even know how we got here. So I don't see why it would matter one way or the other as long as we fix it.
I didn't mean to upset you, Aku.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to come off as upset.
Then her eyes drift over to Manuelo and Beatrix.
So y'all probably already know I don't like to talk much. I only really knew my brother growing up. Didn't know my parents. He left when I was around 16. And he wanted to create a map of the world. And well, news got back when I was around 18, when I was trying to find a place to just have a job, that he was killed. And well, I want to get revenge for him and everything, but I've also picked up his dream, make a map of the world, because well, if you make a map of the world, no one else would possibly get lost.
She smiles and says, "That's... wow. I'm sorry for your loss, but to honor your brother's memory in such a way, it's inspiring." Finally, her gaze drifts over to Beatrix. Beatrix, roll insight.
Oh, God. I hate that you're asking me to do that right now. But what's my insight is +6, okay. That's a 9.
You're unable to discern any way her look at you is different from a look at anyone else.
That is upsetting. Well, not much interesting to tell, really. Grew up in the trade league under a particularly shitty trade lord who went against most of the social conventions of the homeland. Worked for him most of my childhood up until I got out a few years ago. Spent a few years running around the trade league, dodging the more extensive consequences of my escape, and a few years ago made my way to Alamance to join the Delve. Figured it was better than lurking in undermarkets all the time.
Does it bother you at all that we're going to be returning to the Trade League?
Define bother. I am certainly worried. I have no short supply of enemies in the Trade League, or at least people who see me as an enemy.
That answers my question well enough. But you're one of us now. We're not going to let anything happen to you. You all are my charges as far as the Kingdom of Alamance is concerned, as I am yours. I'll defend you with my life, as I hope you would do the same for me, she says, looking over each of you.
Thank you. Gabriel says as he nods back.
You've got my back, I've got yours.
There was one other thing I wanted to pick up while we were in Golden Tide, she said. Before reaching into a side-mounted crate and pulling out a fine bottle of dry-aged, sorry, not dry-aged, fucking, God, I'm bad with alcohol things. Some pretty well-aged wine that hails from the astral shadow west of Fort Kingsfang. It's not much, but enough to celebrate a new adventure. I do hope everyone likes to drink.
Beatrix's eyes go wide as soon as she sees the bottle, and she is up and smiling and like, fantastic, that looks amazing. And she walks over to inspect the bottle.
And Will is just looking, just like, am I going to die tonight?
Beatrix, roll investigation if you'd like.
Alright, let's see. Investigation. That's a 10. I'm rolling so bad.
This is... And it's not hard to tell that this is the genuine article. It must have cost her a decent amount to pick this up.
You got some secret fortune that you're not telling us about, Morgan.
Well, I've got a little nest egg. An emergency fund, if you will. A trust from my father and my monastery, in case things get particularly unhospitable.
As they are like to do in our line of work.
She will pull out 5 glasses, one for each of you. One for each of you and herself, of course. Pour up some of the wine and hand them out, before raising her own glass and saying, a toast to new adventures.
Beatrix will raise her glass with her and toast.
I'll do the same.
Magnus, wrong character, my apologies. Manuela is going to do the same, although worried.
Yeah, Gabriel will join in as well.
And what a fine moment it is, the clinking of the glasses, the newfound sense of understanding between individuals. All goes well, and before long, we have yet another participant in the festivities. Wow, okay. Aku.
Nice.
Guess it's just going to be Aku every time with this fucking cat. Anyways, you feel a nudge at your side. When you look down, if you look down, the cat is nosing its way into your wine glass, curious about the liquid within.
Aku squints at him, and in his head, he's like, "This is not helping your case, Catman." And he kind of just raises his glass a bit higher. He goes, "No, like absolutely not. This is for me, not you."
The cat simply tries to climb, putting its forepaws on your side to try and follow the glass until it is finally absolutely out of reach.
I think the second it starts like climbing up, I just down the rest of what's in the cup.
The cat seems disappointed as it trots away to lay down by the fire.
This cat is totally a person.
I'm convinced.
That cat is a whole person.
No. If that cat's a person, it has to be someone related to Aku. At this point, the cat wants Aku.
At this point, the cat wanted what was in my cup, but I'm convinced that is a person.
That's a person.
That's a person in a
That's
cat costume.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Can we all just agree we're staring at the cat right now? Just like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the whole group just staring at this cat like, we know what's up here. We see through your little game.
Well, Gabriel's gonna take a couple steps closer, trying to get a look at the collar without touching it.
The collar looks just as it always has. A bit of leather rope binding a small blue gem close to the feline's chest.
He'll give the cat another look. Well, one day I hope you'll trust us. We'll figure out what's going on. And then kind of just sit down at the fire, and sit down by the fire again. Not right next to the cat, but probably like a couple steps away.
Morgan will notice the sudden turn of attention and look over at the cat herself before saying, "You all seem quite, how do you say, interested in that little creature. I know it has a strange origin, but do you think there's something amiss with it?"
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, there's definitely something magic going on here, and I'm convinced that that cat is not a cat.
You all have...
Manuel is,
Go ahead.
Manuel is just gonna bring up. Anytime I do an Arcana check, all I know is that it's just the cat that's magical.
And it's very protective of its collar. We've scared it off multiple times trying to get a look at that collar. So, something's going on, that much is for sure.
Well, do you all feel threatened by the little feline?
Not yet.
No. Just curious, honestly.
I mean, if it's not something you want to travel with, we can certainly make it leave.
Where's the fun in that?
At this point, it isn't hurting anybody, or hasn't yet, at least. And it's been a source of curiosity, for sure. So, I at least want to figure out what's going on with it.
Well, I trust you all will make the best decisions. You know more about magic than some silly old monk, I suppose. Still, be wary. Magic is not always a wondrous influence.
Don't have to tell me.
With that, the night begins to wind down proper. Morgan insists that she is too tired to take watch tonight. It will fall on one of you, if anyone.
I can take watch.
All right, works for me.
Yep, sounds good.
Alright. You watching the whole night, Aku? Gonna trade out with someone? What's the plan?
I can do a shift if you want to split it.
Yeah, I think it's best to at least split it in half. But I can
Manuel
take-
is just gonna be like, I can help if you want.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take first watch. Gabriel can take second. Manuelo 2 until morning.
Okay.
Alright. The night continues on. Get something prepared over here. Okay, awesome, good. While that's happening, okay. We are ready for our second event roll of the campaign. By the way, good on you guys for avoiding one while we were in the city. That was not something I expected. My poor table event roll, or my poor city event roll table gathers dust.
Don't worry, you'll be able to use it soon. Who knows when.
That said, you guys will be rolling with advantage because, you know, passives. Ooh.
Right.
That's never good.
Not terrible. Alright, let's decide whose watch this is going to happen in then.
Oh no.
No, it's not going to be Aku this time. Too much shit is happening to Aku.
Are you kidding? He's like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore, guys. I'm gonna go home.
Aku, wait. We need you. You're a valuable member of the team.
Alright, we can confirm that it's rolled 1 3 times in a row, so it's gotta be Aku, I suppose.
Alright, I'm up
No,
for
it threw
time.
2 twos. It threw 2 twos.
Yes, but that was after I told it to roll a frankly excessive amount of times.
Man, the dice just have it in for Aku today. Just like
They want what they want.
you are in the spotlight. Enjoy.
Session 2, Aku is dead, guys. Let's go.
No, there's no way Aku's dying that easily. I may not have healing spells, but I do know a good way to bring somebody back from the dead.
I have healing spells. Hopefully we won't need that plan B.
Why do I get the feeling that that was worded that way very specifically?
What's that?
I mean, to be fair, if we needed to pump the heart, mage hand inside of the chest cavity and just pump the heart.
You know,
I'm
Not
gonna
attack.
use Cure Wounds first.
I've not even had anything happen yet. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
I will say massaging people's hearts doesn't tend to keep them alive in Maddie's campaigns.
Right. This is Dungeons and Dragons, not real life. Right.
Anyhow, Aku. During the night, you could swear you've heard this strange call, not too different from a kookaburra, a very foreign bird to the kingdom of Alamance, but slightly lower in pitch and warbling. At first, it was easy to dismiss it as some distant animal's call, but after a while, there comes a pattern. It's growing closer. Roll perception.
Could I use my passive perception instead?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I'll take the 23, thanks.
Sure. Let me make sure I've got all this set up before we get started.
I rolled last time for fun. I got a 5 on the die, so
As the strange warbling cry draws nearer and nearer, you begin to hear a slightly separate pattern, a few more of those little warbles, and then a rustling in the grass. Then more warbling, then more rustling. Something is approaching. How do you respond?
I am going to take out one of my short swords and my hand crossbow. Oh wait, no, I don't have that yet. I got ahead of myself. Both my short swords, because why not? And I'll just kind of like take a few steps closer to the noise without like, fully walking over to it, just to see if I can get a better angle, a better look at it.
All right. You approach the apparent source of the sound and can see only grass being pressed downward as whatever it is making these noises moves closer to you. Given the size of the patch of grass that is falling, it's a large creature, definitely matching you in length, if nothing else. And then, all at once, all of the sounds stop, and the grass wriggles just a bit.
I am going to try and very slowly and calmly take a few steps back over to like the wagon just so I can bang on the walls or the door.
All right. When you say back away, describe your posture.
Well, he has both of his swords drawn, but he's keeping them kind of like at his sides, but he is just standing facing the essentially like the creature that's coming towards him or now has stopped. But he's keeping his back to the wagon, facing this creature, and just like sort of walking backwards and stepping over to get to the wagon.
Another call, another couple steps forward. This pattern continues as you get closer to the wagon. Each time you stop, the movement in the grass stops as well. But finally, you are close enough to knock or bang on the wagon side if you want to.
Yeah, the goal is to wake people up.
All right. So, a loud banging from the outside of the wagon rattles each of you awake. Manuelo, Beatrix, Gabriel, your response.
All right. Gabriel is gonna throw on a cloak real quick over his pajamas and then rush outside.
As soon as the first person steps out of the wagon, I want to like hold my hand out to kind of stop them from just like rushing, potentially making like startling this thing.
Manuel is just like poking his head through out of the door, just like trying to see what's happening.
Yeah, Beatrix very tired and like, what the fuck is going on? We'll just walk outside to see what's happening.
Okay. How bright is it outside right now? Do we still have like the fire going?
The fire is but embers somewhere behind the wagon.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna cast daylight and touch the wagon to make that the point of the like central point where the light radiates out from.
All right, fine choice. Let me make a roll right quick. This time not to determine a person, because we know that would be Aku.
Like always.
There is a slight pause at the sudden change of lighting, but the creature stands its ground and then begins to rise up out of the grass. On two legs, you see a sleek black frame with unsettlingly long arms and legs. A white mask appearing from beneath the grass slowly rises up to nearly twice any of your heights. The thing looks down at you. Its mask, the only indicator of where its attention is, though without any features, all you can tell is that you have this thing's attention.
Uh,
Qu'est-ce qu'elle fait?
What?
What are you saying that to? The creature or what Manuelo said?
What you said?
It's essentially what the heck. I think.
Okay.
Based on where its mask is facing, is it looking at any of us in particular or just the group?
Seems to just be idly observing the group.
Doesn't seem aggressive at all or anything. It's just standing there looking at us.
Menacingly.
That's right.
Oh, see, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Kill it with fire.
Its head tilts to one side and then the other.
Oh. That is terrifying. I heard fire.
Beatrix just looks around the group and is like, what are we gonna do?
Manuelo just holds up one hand. Is like, fight?
I kind of just look up at this thing's like mask and I'm like, can we help you?
The creature's head tilts to the other side. the dark holes in its mask shifting somewhat, shifting in place on the mask, rotating, cocking to one side or the other, then stacking on top of each other, and then separating again. The creature slowly begins to lower itself back down into the grass, once more disappearing behind the tall grain. And then lets out a much louder, much sharper version of the warble you were hearing earlier, before skittering off into the darkness.
You see, I don't like that. I think we
No,
should build it.
Manuel
I
was. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think we should all get in the wagon and move somewhere else.
Yeah, we should fuck off
Yeah,
expeditiously.
agreed. And Gabriel's gonna run and try and find Morgan.
Morgan is
Well-
still very much asleep in her cot on the east side of the wagon. What were you saying?
Okay, I'm gonna
Manuel?
start shaking her cot aggressively.
Before we move on to that, Manuela, what were you saying?
Manuel is just gonna be like, fuck this. Firebolt restarting the fire.
Okay. So Gabriel, you shake Morgan's cot aggressively, and she, clearly very confused, just kind of sits up with a start, her fists upraised, and says, "What? What is it?"
We need to run. There's a thing. It had like a mask with eyes that moved around in circles, and it was massive, and we need to go.
Hold on. You must understand how strange what you just said sounds to me, she says, though seeming to take your concern seriously. She stands from the bed. What is going on?
One of the others can explain, and then I grab her arm and start running out the front of the door.
You're leaving the wagon?
Well, we went inside to go wake her up. Now I'm stepping back outside the wagon.
Okay. Morgan emerges from the wagon with Gabriel, or rather, Gabriel emerges from the wagon with Morgan in tow. Morgan, still rubbing the sleep from her eyes, says, "I'm so sorry. What is going on? Why are we out here?"
I was keeping watch, and I heard this warbling, like moving sound in the bushes, and then this giant creature, probably like around twice our heights, stepped up. It was all black, had a white mask with two like sort of hollow type eyes, just watching me. So I came over, banged on the wagon door. Surprised you did not wake up, by the way. And everyone came out. We all decided it was creepy as all hell. And then it went away. So before it potentially comes back with any friends, we're gonna go.
If that's your wish, certainly. Give me a moment to wake up. We'll get driving straight away. And with that, she will return to the wagon, leaving you all out there with whatever the hell that was.
We're just in a field of grass right now, right?
That's
I
right.
think we were like near the lake, but basically.
All right. All
Beatrix,
right.
no, we're not starting a fire.
No, you can't tell me what to do.
You're gonna set the whole plane on fire.
Yeah, I'm checking the range on, that's 120 feet. So yeah, I'm gonna stand on top of the wagon, and 120 feet in the direction that thing ran off, I'm gonna shoot a firebolt into the grass and start a fire.
Interesting.
Gonna go
Quick
south.
question: which way is the wind blowing? Is it blowing in the direction where we're supposed to be heading?
It's No, sorry, I hadn't considered that relevant, but probably not.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because logistically and everything, fire will spread fast if it's like dry grass and everything. And if the wind is blowing in the way we're supposed to be going, it's a legitimate race against the fire. But if the wind's blowing in a different direction than the way we're going, the fire's going to meander its way after us, but it's mainly going to focus on a different direction.
Okay. I see. I see where you're coming from. Now what?
The whole reason was the fact being, I'm like trying to say, maybe let's not start a freaking plains fire.
I think that is a good idea.
It's too
It's
late though.
well,
Okay, if y'all want to be chased down by a horde of demon monsters, that's on you.
I
Lighting the
didn't like
planes on
going in the
fire.
light. The light's gonna be on the wagon for another hour. We can make some distance during that time.
Okay.
And at
So
that
the-
point, I'm going to again rush in to try and figure out what's taking Morgan so long.
As
Manuel,
sorry, go ahead.
Manuel is just gonna go back on his bed. He's gonna like look in his spell book and he's like, what to do, what to do, what to do.
As
Sorry.
no worries. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna kind of stay on the like walk around the running board of the wagon, just keeping an eye out while I wait for everybody else to head inside or do what they want to do.
Okay. About the time you, Gabriel, go searching uh, for Morgan, she steps out, dressed in her equipment, to begin driving, and says, "Go on then, load up."
Yeah, I guess we all just Beatrix is gonna stay on top of the wagon, just chilling and watching and waiting to see if anything comes after us.
Yeah, during the trip, Gabriel's gonna also be on the running board, trying to keep an eye out in the distance.
I'll actually go to the railbow and just kind of hang out by that, just in case.
Oh no. Did the cat make it back inside?
I'm assuming so. If not, I'm going to find the cat first.
Fair enough. As you all continue, uh, as you all pile into the wagon, there is the matter of where exactly the cat is. None of you see it straight away. Would anyone like to roll either investigation or perception to look for it? Not accepting passives this time because this is an active search.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a funny and actually see if I can roll an arcana because I have already looked to see if this cat was magical or not. I would possibly remember what the cat's magical signature is, and I'm gonna roll through that to see if I can find that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and take advantage on that then.
Hell yeah.
All right.
23.
Um, the search is quite frantic as no one knows exactly what's going on in the moment. But you, Manuelo, do find the cat uh, up in the up in the cupboards above, the little kitchenette area, looking down curiously upon everything going on.
Manuel is just gonna like hesitantly shout, "Found the cat!"
And with that being her only cue, Morgan immediately whips at the drought sides, and the horses move forward, dragging the wagon along with. And everything seems normal for a little while. You're all left to sit and wonder what the hell just happened, what that thing was, and whether you're being followed. 15, 20, 30 minutes pass. Everything's been quiet for a good long while. Your wagon just trucking along into the monster meadow proper. And then that dreaded sound calls back. Warbling, and lots of it.
Immediately firebolt into the field in whatever direction that sound is coming from.
Alright. Let's see. I can't decide if perception or survival is more appropriate, so you pick.
Oh god. I think I will end up with perception. Yes. And I'm gonna Tides of Chaos this.
Oh no.
Because I want to know what's going on.
Okay, fair enough.
14. God, my rolls are so shit today.
You're searching around. You're looking for the source of the noise. You sit there and listen, finally casting a fireball in the direction that you believe the noise is coming from, somewhere behind you. But as the warbling and the vibrato and the wave of this noise grows louder, you realize with horror that you're already surrounded.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I'm just flinging fire into the field all around us.
Jesus! Fuck! Oh!
Oh.
Thank you.
Are you alright?
Thank you, Mimic, for that redeem.
That was beyond rude.
Ouch. Okay. Damn, I'm trying to set up a horror fucking... Okay, anyways. Yeah. You realize with shock and horror that you are completely surrounded.
Okay. Gabriel is going to cast Moonbeam out in front of the wagon.
Casting Moonbeam out in front of the wagon.
That's gonna make like a column of light.
Alright.
Yeah. 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, centered on that point.
So, this... Oh, wow. Messed up that volume setting. 1 second. There you go. That's better. Maybe a little more, though. Maybe 35. There we go. So, you project the beam of light from the front of the wagon, and you strike several of these creatures, and in the brief moment of the area being decently well lit by something besides the fire, you notice the different forms that these creatures take. Some of them certainly as tall as the one you saw earlier, but others stockier and larger, or more rotund. And then a few bloody massive ones, both twice your size and looking muscle-bound as hell. The one thing they all have in common, they are all pursuing you.
The second I have one of the big ones in view, I am going to shoot at it.
Oh, and before I forget, that if they're in the beam, they take 2d10 radiant, and if they're, oh, it's a con save. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they're in the beam, it's a con save, or else they take 2d10 radiant, and if it's a shape changer that fails the saving throw, it also reverts to its original form.
Okay.
So.
You strike 4 of the strange creatures, most of which seem perfectly capable of just taking it on the chin. One, though, you strike pretty center mass, blowing through its body and out the other side. A small gem falls to the ground before your wagon.
Okay. Well, I can keep this thing up for a minute if we can clear a path.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, if that's what we're gonna do, Beatrix will also turn around, and instead of firing into the grass now, she's just going to start firing at the things in front of us.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll initiative then.
Do I even include this because I'm like inside?
If you want to take part in this combat and take actions during, yes.
If I need to drag you out here to help us, I'm going to do that.
I'm just gonna be in the corner, just being like, Jesus Christ.
And since you are fighting a horde-style enemy, I'm just going to have them all roll initiative at once. Alright. So, Aku, can I get your initiative roll? Or your result? I'm in a different channel trying to line things up.
I got a 14.
14. You, Beatrix?
7.
7. Gabriel?
24.
24. And Brian?
I had a 13.
Okay. So it's gonna be Gabriel, Aku, enemy, Beatrix. I'm sorry, what was yours again, Manuela?
I had a 13. 12 plus 1.
Okay, Gabriel, Aku, enemy, Manuelo, Beatrix. And finally, your carriage driver. Gabriel, you have the first turn.
Yep. Trying to think. Because I don't really have anything ranged, but I could theoretically move my little death column. Like, maybe a bit further in front of us. Like, push the death cone, like, another 30 feet in front of the wagon.
Okay.
See if I hit any there.
Alright. Let's have me make some Constitution saving throws. If that is your choice.
Yeah.
Having found your aim, you sweep the beam through many more of these creatures, and this time, all 4 of the ones you strike dissipate and fall as a gem before your wagon. It's a small victory to celebrate while the horde gathers on your sides and behind. But the path forward is clear now.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the end of my turn. I'm just going to stay in. I guess maybe get on top of the wagon as far away from any of the creatures as I can be.
Alright. Aku, your turn.
I am going to take the rail bow and just shoot the biggest one in front of us.
Alright. Go ahead and roll that attack.
Oh, I'd also like to use steady aim, since I don't plan on moving anywhere, to get it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Cool. So that is a 24.
Alright. Tell you what, I can do this from here now. Make sure I've got it level with everything else. Alright, sweet. So, on a 24, you do manage to strike one of the larger creatures, dealing how much damage to it?
That is going to be 5 damage.
The creature is somewhat carried back by the momentum of being struck with the railbow, but you don't get a sense of whether you've injured it in any meaningful way. Not yet, anyhow. Anything else?
No, that's going to be it for now.
Alright. On the enemy's turn, they keep their pace to... Sorry, I need to shuffle this, I think. And skip ahead. There we go. So, on their turn, some of the smaller, faster-moving creatures are bounding on all fours towards the back of the wagon. Their long, ichor-ish tendrils wrap around the spokes of the wagon itself. They seem to be trying to stop you in place. They are going to make a collective grapple check. Alright. 43 halved plus that is... It manages to... Or they manage to slow the wagon somewhat. Not enough to keep you from gaining ground on your pursuers, but you imagine allowing them to continue doing this for long, you may fully be stopped. Meanwhile, many of the more medium-sized creatures begin firing what appear to be parts of themselves at the side of your wagon. Here are those attack rolls. While some of the strikes do land true to your wagon, they are not forceful enough to penetrate the armor. And then it is Manuelo's turn.
Manuelo's feeling the attacks hitting the wagon and everything, so he's going to try to make his way up on top of the wagon, look at where everyone's looking, and proceed to attack the opposite direction.
I'm sorry, run me through that again. I got caught in a loop there.
So Manuel is going to move up to the top of the wagon.
Okay.
See that everyone's attacking towards the front of the wagon.
Okay.
And proceed to launch an attack towards the ones attacking or hanging onto the wheels of the cabin.
Okay. So, with what attack are you doing so?
So there's this funny first level spell that you can cast at higher levels.
Go for it.
So I'm casting Magic Missile at the second level.
Alright.
So instead of 3 darts that appear, it's going to be 4 darts.
Alright. Roll damage against your enemy,
Well-
S.
Well, so first I'd have to roll to see if I hit, right?
No, magic missile always hits.
Ah, well, here's the funny thing. Because I'm going to be using my feet and everything. Well, not a feat, my typing. So instead of force damage, it's going to be acid damage.
Alright. Go ahead and roll it
I'm
up.
rolling 1d4 plus 1 because I'm targeting 4 things.
Okay. Wait, why 1d4?
Well, the damage is 1d4.
Yes, but all of them deal their own damage.
Yeah. One's taking 2, one's taking 3, and 2 are taking 4 damage.
Alright. This force, while you don't get the impression that acid in particular is helping or hurting your case, the force of the blast striking these creatures' slick oil-like bodies does blast some of their appendages away from the center. That said, the creatures that were holding on to the back wheels of the wagon have let go. One of them, actually 2 of them, fall to the ground as gems behind your wagon.
And Wello is going to keep that as a note, as that's it.
Tell you what, well, let's give Uzox a break. He seems to be a little tired. Sorry about that, gang. I'll try to continue the music bot later. All right. Is that the end of your turn, Manuela?
Yeah, he's just going to keep note that they turn to crystals as soon as they're questionably defeated.
All right. Beatrix, your turn.
Well, since the ones who were holding on to us have let go, I'm going to turn my attention back to anything in front of us and just hit one of the big motherfuckers.
Okay. Are you striking the same one that Aku took a shot at earlier?
Yeah, probably. Might as well try and focus down and get rid of the big guys, huh?
Your choice. I was just offering it as a course of action.
All right. Spell attack is +5. Well, that's a nat 1.
No.
Killing it, guys.
I set the wagon on fire.
God, no, please no.
God fucking damn it.
Go ahead and roll your sorry, I forget what it's called. Wild Magic Surge.
Oh no. With how shit I've been rolling. Oh, we still survive though. It's up to 6 now.
Deary me. So yeah, you miss wide right of the creature due to an unfortunately timed shift in the wagon's weight. Do you have anything else to do this turn?
No, I don't think I do. And that'll be it for me.
Very well. Morgan, now seeing and understanding the true gravity of the threat you all are faced with, leans down towards the drought and begins whipping faster and harder, trying to get the wagon moving at full speed. Let's see how that goes for us. And on a 17, the droughts, perhaps driven by their own fear or by the quite forceful command of the Dragonborn in the seat, do get moving a lot faster. You're finally putting some distance between you and these creatures, and with none of them blocking your escape, all it's going to take is just a little more pushing. With that, we are back to Gabriel's turn.
Okay. If that's the case, then I'm going to use my action to sweep the moonbeam around to be, actually, right where the giant guy that we've been attacking is.
Alright. So he's got to make his Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
Jesus. So yeah,
Let's go.
he's gonna take full damage from that. How much is that?
2d10. Radiant.
Do you add anything to that, or could I just roll it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just 2d10 for a failed save, half for success.
Okay. This time you manage to get a good look at what exactly is happening to these creatures when they take damage from your moonbeam. The oil that seems to make up the parts of the bodies that are not their masks seem to be hardening and cracking beneath the weight of the creature itself. And with a much bigger creature to observe it happening to this time, you watch in real time as all of the oil that makes up its body fades to dust, and the much larger gem that is the result of this creature being defeated strikes the ground with a heavy thud.
Okay, well, that's gonna be the end of my turn. I'm just holding this beam here for dear life.
Alright, Aku, your turn.
Seeing that the big guy got taken down, I'm going to look for the next biggest one I can find, and I'm going to steady aim shoot that.
Alright, roll it up.
That is a 22.
An easy hit. Roll that damage.
9.
The next largest creature you can find is not anywhere near as big as the one that was just killed, and the force from the arrow alone dissipates its form, leaving its gem on the ground.
Fantastic.
Alright. On the enemy's turn. Their collective attention seems to drift away from attacking the wagon itself to attacking the people on the wagon. While there are no longer creatures attempting to grab at the wheels, many of these sleek, dark, almost icicle-shaped missiles are fired in your directions now. So, let me roll to decide who all the targets are. Oh god, I already know what's about to happen here.
Oh no. Please don't be Aku. Bring it on. Bring it on. I can take it. I got quick
Okay.
action shield. Bring it.
I don't, but I can take it.
Yeah, I don't want to drop concentration. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm more mad that shield is a self range.
Notice we did not roll a 4 or a 5 once across 10 d5s.
Oh my god.
Aku is the target 4 times. Beatrix is the target 3 times. 4 times, also. And then Manuelo is the target twice.
I fucking melted like 2 or 3 of them, and they're shooting everyone else?
Also, I sent that in the wrong channel. Please ignore me being a bad DM. And a bad example. Alright. So let me see.
So-
When did they make their last attack? This here. Got you.
It's alright, they're probably weak as hell, so not a big deal.
Alright, so here are the attacks aimed at Aku. Does a 14 hit?
14. I'm guessing beats it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So 2 of those are going to hit you for 2d4 plus 2 twice, so 2d4 plus 4. For a total of 7.
Easy.
Beatrix, you are also the target of 4 of these.
Fun times.
Does a 16 hit?
Yep.
Alright.
Yep, it does.
So you are going to be taking 3d4 plus 6. For a total of 14.
Oh god. Ow. Oh, ow.
And then Manuelo.
Oh no, not Manuelo.
One of them crits, and
Fuck.
if it hits you at all. And then does a 16 also hit?
So I'm gonna go ahead and reaction to this shield, so the 14 will not hit.
Alright.
So
So,
I'm getting domed with a crit.
oh, have I established crits in the house rules yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this
No.
is our first. This is the first we've had one in combat, so.
So the way I usually do crits is A, totally democratic, and B, I try to give you a little bit of the best of both worlds. So our options are one of the die is max damage no matter what, and the other one is rolled as normal. Or you roll 2 die, or twice whatever die you're rolling, or you just double whatever number the first die comes up as. Which do you guys want to do?
Personally, I think like one max damage die on a crit like makes more sense. Like getting a max damage in some way, just because like doubling the dice is great until you roll a 1 on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that of the one, I mean, the way you described it, just having one maxed out is easier for me to keep track of.
I'm
Oh.
also with that.
Wait, so when you mean the maxed out, it isn't like the normal, like what I'm thinking of. You just roll the damage, then you double the damage. It's a maxed out on the damage die.
So, I think rules as written, you would roll 2 dice in this case. So it would be rolling 2d4 plus 2. In order to make sure crits feel impactful, what I've done instead is given it 4, because that's the max it could roll on its other d4, then just a d4 plus 2. And that'll work the same way for you guys as well, should you ever roll crits.
Does that apply to sneak attack?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Mimic is going to ask for a player HP update after this turn. So are we all cool with the max 1 die, roll the other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on with it.
Alright. So Brian takes 7. Alright, how's everybody looking? Aku, Beatrix, and Manuelo?
Oh, I'm at
I-
21.
I'm at 15.
I am at 30 of 37.
I'm at 21 of 28. Essentially, I got 1/4 of my life cut down.
Yeah, 15 of 29. I lost half my life in one round.
Oh my dear. Oh my dear.
What's your
Oh, I'm just-
constitution, baby?
What?
What is your constitution?
12.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I rolled really bad stats.
Alright, Manuelo, your turn.
Manuel just getting up. He is pissed. How close are they to us? Like, how close are they to the wagons?
They are about 35 feet away and losing distance on you. Or sorry. Well, hold on, one sec.
Red Panda, Fox is cute,
There's
and
reason
so
to
I'm
watch this
Manuelo.
madness, so don't worry.
Thank you so much, Burrito the Noodle Dragon, for your 2 months of support, and thank you for that resub. Also, with your subscription, you're able to grant advantage or disadvantage on any creature's next attack roll, or any creature's next roll of any kind. So, yeah, let me know who and which. Sorry about that, guys. Where was I?
You were trying to figure out the distance and stuff from them?
Advantage to Manuelo.
Ha 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 ha.
Good timing, because it's Manuelo's turn. But yeah, they are 35 feet away and not gaining on you. Doing the opposite of that, in fact.
So let's say if I cast something 50 feet away from me, are they technically in range of that, or would I have to cast it closer?
50 feet away. Yes? I mean, they're not all exactly 35 feet away. That's just the closest that any of them are to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Cloud of Daggers.
Alright.
Centered around a point 50 feet away from me.
Okay.
And it's a cube with 5 feet on each side. How many creatures am I hitting?
Right this second, you were hitting. Let me just roll for it.
Because this is because it's a second level spell that I'm casting it as.
Okay. You are hitting one creature.
Such a shame. Such a shame. Let me roll the damage real quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 10 damage coming from spinning daggers.
Well, the one that you do hit is thoroughly shredded to bits. Its gem falls to the ground, but not before bouncing between several magical daggers in the air.
Manuel, after just poofing this creature, is gonna look back to everyone else. Is like, anyone else find it weird? They're turning into crystals. That's gonna be my turn.
By now, Gabriel just has a 1,000-yard stare, just focused on moving the beam.
Beatrix, your turn.
Well, how many creatures can we still see pursuing us right now?
You were counting 16 to 20.
Oh, fuck, that's so many.
We're assassinating so many of them. They gotta go down soon.
Yeah, I'll just pick whichever one is closest and try to hit it with a firebolt.
All right. Throw that firebolt, baby. Roll that attack.
14.
Hell yeah, 14 hits. Roll that damage.
Finally, Jesus Christ. And that's just 1d10 if I remember correctly.
Well done, big peepee.
Burrito offers you a well done.
Ah, thank you, Burrito, my friend.
Poof them. Send them back to their non-corporeal forms inside the crystals.
Also, Manuelo, do not let me forget. You have advantage on your next roll of any kind, because I don't think I reminded you to take it on damage earlier.
No, mine was literally just a 4. That creature takes 44 damage.
Yeah.
The one I hit took 9 damage.
All right. It too turns to ash. Its gem flying backwards with the force of your firebolt.
Fantastic. And then that'll be my turn. I can't do anything else right now.
All right. Morgan, at these speeds, is having trouble turning and maintaining control to keep to the side of any mounds that may be in the way, trees that are posted up in the middle of this field. They're easy enough to predict when her mind isn't on other things, but moving this quickly and with so many creatures after you, it's proving a struggle. You'll make one more drive check.
No.
She fails to navigate the terrain quite as efficiently as she did last time. You have not lost your pursuers, but thankfully they have not gained any ground on you as a result of her shortcomings. The fight continues, and it's Gabriel's turn.
Okay. So, Beatrix, are you on the roof?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is swing the moonbeam over into another cluster of creatures, and then run over and use Healing Touch as my bonus action on Beatrix.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
That's the best I can do at the moment. Now what's that actually? Sorry, I'm looking for how that... Oh, it's Healing Word. Right, okay. Oh, you don't even need to actually touch. Whatever. Okay, so that's... Okay. So there's the... you get topped off for 5, and then the beam's going into a cluster somewhere nearby.
Alright. Let's see how many you managed to hit. Whoops. Sorry about that, gang.
Oh, no.
Alright, that's 3 of them. For that con save. 2 of them will fail, and the damage is 2d10, right?
Yep.
The damage is enough to entirely poof one of them, and the other, while definitely looking on its last legs and not following you as quickly as the others, somehow is still standing. We're down to about 13 of these things now. Aku, your turn.
I am going to try and pick off the one that is struggling to keep up at this point.
Alright. Is that another precise shot?
Yes, sir. Nat 20.
Oh, shit. Rolling damage seems like a formality. It's eviscerated. It's gone. The
As it
gem,
should be.
the gem it leaves behind shatters in air as it is struck by the arrow. Alright. On their turn, the
Thank
enemy...
you for reminding me.
What was that?
My apologies for interrupting, but thank you for reminding me.
Okay. On their turn, the enemies unify. Their goal now is to stop the wagon at any cost. Paying no heed to you or the driver, they all strike at the back of the wagon.
Before you roll, does any creature goes towards the cloud of daggers?
Oh, actually. I'll see if we can catch a few more with that. You do. Go ahead and roll up that damage.
How many? Oh, did you put it in the wrong chat again?
I did. It is 2 of them.
So this is one of their damage. And then this is the other.
Much the same spectacle as last time. 2 gems now floating in a cloud of daggers, getting bounced around until they finally hit the floor.
No one believes that I'm doing good. I'm eliminating them before they have a chance to hit us.
That said, here's the full force of what may wind up being their last attack. Do we remember the AC of the wagon? Like, as a whole?
No, I don't.
I have no idea.
Give me a second. I can find it real quickly because I have the book pulled up still.
Sweet.
Oh, good.
We have just the basic one, the in between, right?
Yep, the Rocksteady, I believe.
As I'm waiting for the book to load. Oh no. Okay, just give me a little bit. I'm scrolling up to it right now.
Because I'm assuming it is just the armor class of the material it is made of. There are only a few of these that I think hit.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the material it's made out of. It doesn't have a specific one for itself.
Yeah. So in that case, only 3 of the creatures will even deal damage, because the AC of wood is 15. So here is that. And on an 11, there are a few broken panes of glass and these ichor-like shards sticking out of the back of the wagon, but the structural damage is not enough to slow you down. Manuelo, your turn.
I'm going to drop concentration on the cloud of daggers,
Okay.
knowing that most of them are close by anyway. And what I'm going to do is go ahead. I'm gonna look for what looks like to be the biggest one,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at first level.
Okay.
What I'm doing is swapping the damage type. So instead of force damage, it's gonna be electric from Witch Bolt.
Okay.
And I'm gonna launch all 3 darts at this thing.
Alright. Go ahead and roll that damage.
That is 12 electric damage striking this thing.
The creature is buffeted by a hail of magic missiles, all leaving sparks in their wake. This thing is torn limb from limb, and while you never see it reduced to its gem form, it is no longer capable of following you.
Manuel is just gonna shout out, I don't think that one went poof. No, that's gonna be it for my turn.
Beatrix, your turn.
Yeah, I think just rinse and repeat. I'm gonna pick the closest dude and try to kill it.
Alright. Roll the attack.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't have anything super interesting to do in combat right now.
Not a lot of crowd control, I guess.
Yeah, well, I only have first and second level spells, so.
To be fair.
And I'm a sorcerer, not a wizard, so. 23 to hit. I'm assuming that does.
Absolutely.
2d10. 14 damage.
And 14 reduces their numbers even further. With only a handful of them left to go, you are no longer so starkly outnumbered. Morgan, not interested in seeing if there are any more, feels her nerves and, again, attempts to navigate the field safely. This time with advantage. And on a 21, you guys get enough distance on the creatures that while they are still attempting to fire their little blades at you, none of them are landing near to the wagon anymore. And in a few short minutes, you've lost vision of the creatures entirely.
Okay, new rule. If we see weird, creepy demon creatures, we kill them. No questions, no hesitation.
I'm fine with that moving forward.
Agreed. Gabriel's just gonna like collapse onto the in just like collapse into a pile on top of the roof. Just scarred, 1,000-yard stare.
Alright, gang. I think now is a great time for that 10-minute break I promised.
Okay, did we make it out of the woods without further incident?
Yes, yes.
Or at least make it to the morning without further incident.
You guys will pull up into the monster meadow proper, where there are far fewer trees and less tall grass for the creatures to hide in. You're satisfied that you're at least safe for now. Nice try, Burrito, but I was ready for it that time. You have rolled your wagon and your weary crew into the monster meadow, where the only sounds that accompany you are the wind, the rustling of tree-bound leaves, and the calls of many of the dungeon-born monsters that roam this place. None of them quite regular animals like you're used to, but it's well known that creatures in the monster meadow are much more timid and docile than those you might find elsewhere. Compared to where you just were, it's a position of relative safety. Once Morgan has satisfied her, once Morgan has satisfied her sense that the creatures are no longer following you, she will slow the wagon to a more even pace, turn her head back and say, "So, does anyone want to tell me what that was?"
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, if we knew, we'd tell ya.
Yeah, aside from something I hope to never see again, I have no idea. I see its mask every time I close my eyes.
Yeah, you'll get over it.
Hopefully.
He lets out a sigh and says, Is everyone okay?
Mostly.
I think so.
Yeah, relatively.
Right. See a few of you are bleeding, but nothing you can't handle. Tend to your wounds. The sun will... I don't know. I honestly don't know what time it is, even.
Well, last we checked, it was still my watch, so I can't imagine it's super late in the evening.
Yeah, hopefully we'll still be able to, sleep.
I'll keep us moving. I don't want to sit still right now.
Okay. Thank you. And
Fair enough.
Gabriel's just gonna like jump over to inside and try and get comfy in bed.
Yeah, Beatrix is going to tend her wounds, get all bandaged up, and then also go lay the fuck down.
Manuelo, Aku, is that the case for you as well?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and rest.
All right. Beatrix, while you were tending to your wounds, any place you would remove armor and expose skin where the creature struck you, you had expected to see bruises, welts, maybe even scars. Surprisingly, not so. There are certainly dark marks now resting on your skin, but they are shockingly well defined and bright pink as opposed to the bruises you were expecting to see.
Well, that's concerning. Could I roll Arcana to see if I have... Because these don't seem like natural creatures, so maybe I have some inkling what's going on here?
You can roll for it.
The way you said that implies that this is futile, but I'm still gonna try. Well, that's a 5, so I'm sure I get nothing.
A strange injury for sure, but these are strange creatures. You managed to convince yourself it's nothing to worry about for now.
Alright, yeah, well... With that, if there's no bleeding, if there's no need to bandage it, I'll just get comfy and lay down for bed. Holy fuck, I'm gonna wake up to some bullshit.
Dear Lord, I hope not.
I feel like this has to be a thing, right?
As you lay down, rest your eyes, the movement of the wagon carries you all into a perhaps uneasy sleep, but a sleep nonetheless. And when you wake, it's still quite the early morning, but the carriage still rolls. And based on the slant, the way each of you are pulled towards the foot of your bed, seems to be an uphill roll. Morgan will turn her head back to check on each of you every once in a while. But is anyone doing anything to suggest that they're not asleep right now?
No, Gabriel's still gonna try and be asleep right now.
Yeah, same for Beatrix. Very much like, well, that was a ridiculous night. I'm sleeping as long as I can.
Yeah, I think especially being the one who didn't get to go to sleep like at all, I think Aka's probably passed out.
And that only leaves Manuelo.
My apologies, my mom called me.
Yeah, no worries.
Manuel is going to stay up for a little bit, like an hour, and he's going to cast Find Familiar.
All right. Go ahead and describe how, in your mind, the familiar you found looks.
So first, let me find the spell. It's a ritual spell, so it's going to take an hour. But give me 1 second. I think I have something that'll cut that down. Because I'm holding my spell book, it has awakened. It's awakened. So if I'm casting a oh, yeah, no, never mind. Because this is originally just a ritual spell, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, then. So, go on with your description.
So Manuelo's just casting this burning charcoal, incense, and herbs in a small brazier that he has. So he's just down, sitting, looking calm with his eyes closed. If anyone's like paying attention, they would notice the flames flickering as like another shadow starts to appear as a sort of as what appears as a sort of a red and white mix for a cat starts to take form. Appearing on the other side of the brazier than what Manuelo's on.
The creature gains its... not sentience, what's the other word I'm looking for? Its consciousness across the brazier from you. Tilts its head, looking up at you, and understanding. It knows who brought it here, and it will obey your command. To the best of its ability, of course. You've drawn another pair of eyes with this little stunt, though. The cat slowly approaches you, but its eyes still tilted, or its head still tilted, its eyes fixed on the creature you've summoned. You can hear a faint trill as it curiously sniffs the air.
Manuelo is gonna go ahead and look at the cat and just be like, "Oh, you're interested?"
Your familiar gets up and begins walking around the brazier towards the cat, who hisses and then backs away slowly. The creature makes no attempt to follow the cat as it ducks its way back into the cupboard above you.
Manuelo is just going to, because after the hour and everything, it's just going to be ashes inside the brazier. He's going to open the window after making sure no ashes are hot and dump it out the window as they continue on.
Righto.
Before putting the brazier back in his bag and then going to the bed after closing the window.
By midday, the carriage has stopped again. This time, Morgan has set up camp beside the Quest River. Whether any of you are awake is your choice. but she has stepped outside to purify some water from the river.
Okay. We'll say that once once they've been stopped for a bit, Gabriel's going to roll out of bed. Compared to yesterday, it's probably going to take about 4 times as long for the process of getting out of bed and getting through the front door. But he will eventually go over and check with Morgan to see how things are going.
Her weary eyes find your own as she carries 2 buckets of water back towards the tank situated on the side of the wagon. Good morning. You all slept well?
Yeah, I guess you'd say that. Is there a nearby town?
We wanted to sidetrack a little bit. I suppose Berit is just south of here.
Because somebody has to have seen those demon things before, right?
I agree. And, well, all my years wandering, I don't know anything of this world to look like that. To have the properties that those things had.
Yeah.
But are you sure it's imperative to our investigation? We
I
are...
don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. If it's gonna be if it's gonna be a significant detour, then probably not. But I've never heard of these things before in my life. So if they're a new problem, similar to how the plague's been brought on this world, then I'm worried.
We have every right to be concerned, but I think we need to take one crisis at a time. There
Okay.
are tens of thousands of the infected walking the streets. And I'm going to presume only about as many of those things as we saw. Until proven otherwise, of course.
Right. And with that, Gabriel's gonna head over to the river and splash his face with water and such. Get washed up a little bit.
The cool water on your face alone would have been refreshing enough, and the gentle breeze on the otherwise warm spring day is definitely helping. That said, the nerves that follow you after last night, it's not mine to say whether they can be undone by merely washing your face.
Mm-hmm.
However, what is Aku getting up to?
He kind of rolls out of bed in the same way that he did the day before. Outwardly, I don't think anything seems very different with him. The first thing he's going to do, though, is kind of take a walk around the wagon, just check to see if there's anything they should be worried about in terms of damages, or at least worried about immediately.
Much as you saw last night, there are a few shards of the appendages that these creatures were firing at your wagon still stuck in the back in the back end, and several panes of broken glass at the rear side of the wagon. Thankfully, it is not such terrible structural damage that you can't keep moving.
Could I take out a few of these shards?
Go for it.
Do they seem to be like a similar type of material to like when they turned into crystals, or is this just sort of solidified oil?
On your inspection, it seems that whatever process was causing their form to harden and fade to dust has also happened to these things, as when you pull it out, it very quickly begins degrading in your hand.
All right, then after, I'll probably just take whatever I can out just to, do that, and then I'll just go by the others. Take a.
Sorry, I didn't catch that last bit.
I'll just go by. If Gabriel ends up going back by where Morgan settled down, then I'll go back over there and take a seat and relax for a bit before we get.
All right. Manuelo and Beatrix, who wants to go first? If either of you are interacting with the scene.
As far as Beatrix goes, she'd probably just, when I get up, have those marks changed at all? Am I feeling any type of way? What's going on?
You check the marks from last night and find that they are fading quickly. Much faster than you would expect a bruise of a similar size to fade. For to your comfort, it does appear that this is not a lingering condition, whatever it is.
It appears that way for sure. Out of curiosity, because those were weird little fucks, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on the wounds.
You find no traces of magic in your wounds.
Okay. Alright, well then, just get dressed and head out to sit with everyone.
And Manuelo, the ball is in your court.
I mean, Manuelo is like, he passed out like right after doing everything, summoning his familiar. He's gonna slowly make his way out after like crawling out of bed. Just like, it's too bright. Then he's just gonna look at Morgan and be like, hello?
Good morning. I'm glad to see you all finally woken. I was about ready to head to bed myself. If one of you wouldn't mind taking the wheel, and presuming that you even want to continue moving today.
I'm all ready to continue forward. I don't mind taking the.
Yeah, no point in sitting around here all day.
Yeah. Where would we want to get to next if we're trying to maintain a good pace?
Well, we're already far above pace. Thankfully, we didn't lose much supplies. We didn't lose many supplies in that fight. And...
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing.
Oh, gotcha. We didn't lose many supplies in that fight, and the simple act of trying to escape those creatures pushed us much further into the meadow than I thought we could get yesterday. Might have shortened our trip by a day, to be honest, but if we want to keep on the same pace we were previously on, we could rest today, or if you want to keep making progress, we would find ourselves between Verglis and the greater portion of the Bedamir Mountains. Whichever you all would prefer.
Okay. I think it would be best to keep going.
I agree.
Agreed.
Agreed.
We'll give a nod and say, then I'm headed to bed. Aku, I trust you know how to read a compass?
Last I checked.
I have to ask. She steps onto the wagon and makes her way to the back where her bed is.
All right. Well, anything to do before we get moving for the day?
No, I'm all set to get going.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go too.
All right. Let's fuck off then.
All right. With Aku at the reins, and considering knowing how to read a compass was not a particularly rare skill in this world, I'm just going to assume you know how to do it without any survival checks. The question is how... Sorry, go ahead.
I just said I should hope so.
Question is, how late tonight, or today, are you wanting to travel?
I'm okay with going as long as the party wants to. If we want to set up camp again when it starts getting dark, that makes sense. But Aku personally is fine going into.
Then what is our opinion, party?
I feel like probably stopping at the base of the mountain would be a decent spot to set up camp. As opposed to trying to get through the mountain during the night. I mean, well, during the evening.
Yeah, I would definitely say, base of the mountains or something. Rest and then spend a day tackling getting through the worst of the mountains.
Agreed.
Very well. So I'll give you guys the choice. Would you rather your next event roll happen while you guys are stopped or while you're moving?
Oh God.
Choose wisely, Beatrix. Well, all of the party, but Beatrix, you responded, so I'm picking on you.
Personally, I would like to not be at the wheel of the wagon if some shit goes down.
Yeah, let's do camp.
Yeah.
Because that worked super well last time.
Yeah, I don't want to be throwing around the light column on top of the moving vehicle again if we don't have to do that.
Agreed.
Alright. You venture further into the valley between the Bedimir Mountains and, into the Bedimir Mountains, let's say. Ouch, that was a harsh echo from somebody. Yeah, into the valley of the Bedimir Mountains. You rest at the base, at the foothills, where on the other side of the mountains you would find the city of Verglas. Or the town, rather. Not quite as big as Golden Tide or any of the other places most of you have heard of. Irrelevant. As you all are making camp, we're going to go ahead and make your event roll for the evening. Righto. I'll keep that in my pocket for a moment. In the meantime, is anyone getting up to anything special tonight?
Yeah, you know what, we'll try it. So Gabriel is going to, step outside of the wagon for a moment, and then, use Wild Shape to transform into a house cat.
Oh shit.
and then go back inside and see if you can get the other cat's attention.
Does your little red panda familiar still exist, Manuelo?
Yes, he's still kicking.
Right on then. With your heightened senses, Gabriel, as you step back into the wagon, you can smell the cat nearby. You follow the scent back to its usual spot up in the cupboards, where now it has a bit of a pest on its hands. This strange, glowing little familiar of Manuelo's has not left it alone since they first became acquainted, and it is currently trying to pry open the cupboard while the cat is doing its best to keep the handle closed with its teeth. This is the scene you walk in on.
Okay. I'm gonna attempt to climb up onto, I guess, like the next shelf of the cabinet, and then just kind of swipe at the red panda.
It would seem that merely gesturing at the panda isn't enough to get it away. So finally, you do take I'm presuming you are willing to actually give a meaningful swipe at the panda.
Yep.
It gi-
Not claws, but just like whatever the cat equivalent of a backhand would be.
Gotcha. It gives a little yip and hops down from the cabinet. Returning to its creator. And you were left alone with a very frustrated feline.
Okay. Well, I'll attempt to open the cupboard and see if it fits too.
The cat kind of glares at you. Given that non-willful creatures don't really have a language of their own, understand that while I am speaking and conveying exact thoughts, everything it is communicating with body language.
Okay.
So as the cat glares at you, it seems to... The initial question is obvious. Who are you?
And I guess I'll attempt to look friendly and say, a friend worried about you.
The cat's narrowed eyes do very little in the way of telling you if what you just said got through to it, as it stands and kind of circles you, looking you over. It takes in your scent for a moment before tilting its head and sitting back down where it was originally.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem like other cats.
That's accurate. You seem pretty different too.
The cat doesn't respond to this.
Okay. I take another couple steps closer until I can put my paw on their front paw.
The cat doesn't move its paw away, but also doesn't regard you.
What's bothering you? What's going on?
These big, loud creatures pulled me out of a hole in the ground. I don't know where I am. I'm confused. I'm scared.
Hole in the ground?
Thinking back, he must be referring to the mound that you all pulled him out of.
Was that your home?
I don't know what it was. Certainly not something I'd have created. Too cramped, too cold.
Okay. Well, I hope you and the others... hopefully you and the other loud creatures can get along alright. I'm sure they mean well.
The worst is they keep trying to take from me.
What do you mean?
While I don't know where I am, or why I am here, I do know that from the moment I woke up, I had this, he says, craning his neck down at the necklace. And since the moment I've been awake, they've tried to take it from me. It is a nice thing, is it not?
Yeah, it is very nice. And then I'm gonna, reach out to touch it. Feels soft.
The cat pays no mind to you touching it, apparently regarding you differently than Gabriel, as it usually sees you.
Mm-hmm.
A very nice thing. A very shiny thing. A thing that is attached and comfortable. Why do they try to take it?
I don't know. They seem to think it does something special.
Big idiots, all of them. Especially the one that smells like wet dog.
Then Gabriel's gonna give a chuckle at that. Well, and then he'll look over his shoulder back at the door. I need to get going, but I'm keeping an eye. I'm gonna keep an eye out and try to keep up with the group. So I'll be here when I can. Hopefully you can put up with the loudmouths for a bit longer.
The cat curls up in the cupboard. A dismissive flick of the ear, indicating that it heard you, but it has nothing left to say.
Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to, climb my way back out of the room, out of the wagon and shift back.
Right on. And then for the rest of us, we're not doing anything special this evening.
Manuela is just sitting outside as this familiar comes back. It's like, did someone hurt you?
Yeah, okay, well, after I've transformed back, I'm gonna come over. He's been bothering the cat.
So you hurt him?
I hit him with a cat paw.
Manuel is going to look down at the familiar before looking back up and is like, "You're lucky you're also family."
Listen, I was able to communicate with the cat. It seems to not have any idea of who it is or why it's here either. But it very much so wants to be left alone for the time being. It doesn't trust us. It also says one of you smells like wet dog.
Here's to begging it's not me.
But anyway, I think we give him time. I will hopefully probably in the future maybe I can go talk to him again. But for now he's just scared of us. So I think we leave him be and show we don't mean any harm or to cause any trouble. I should have asked him for a name.
Yeah, you definitely should have.
Oh well. Next time. I'll try and remember for next time.
Were you trying to say something there, Beatrix?
Not in relation to this, but before the end of the night, yeah.
Oh, okay. Are we good to move on to that then? I didn't mean to
Yeah, I
interrupt you
think
guys.
so. No, I didn't really have anything else to add to that. Other than, just tell your pet, tell that thing pointing at the familiar to leave the cat alone.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, that was the end of that.
All right. Beatrix, Aku, who's on next?
I don't think Aku really has any in particular that he needs to be doing right now, so we can do what Beatrix wants to do.
All right. Go for it, Beatrix.
Yeah. So at some point during the evening, Beatrix is gonna gather everybody up. Because we're about tomorrow we should be crossing the border. So she's going to gather everyone up to be like, okay, so tomorrow we finally get to the Trade League. Very important bit of business to cover. Do not use my name while we are in the Trade League's land. Just don't. Call me Valerie. There you go. That'll work.
Cool enough.
Bad history?
Significantly. And I would like for us to be able to do our job and get the fuck out of there as quickly as possible. And constantly running into sellswords is not going to be conducive to that. So let's just do our best to not be noticed as much as possible.
Okay.
I typically try to do that anyway, so no problems for me.
Yeah, I'll do whatever I can do to help Veronica.
Nice.
This is gonna go so well. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for the heads up, Gabriel, that you can't keep names in order. I'll make extra documents just in case.
Oh, wait, what? And Gabriel's still just confused about the deal.
This is gonna go so well. We're gonna survive, promise.
All right. While Vincent is busy making their new documents, the sun declines over the west end of the Bedimir Mountains, and things grow quiet once more. Is anyone keeping watch?
I guess I'll keep watch tonight.
Okay. So, what is your passive perception, Gabriel?
13.
All right. While you were taking your watch, occasionally growing bored or dozing off near the wagon, you begin to hear the faint rumble in the distance of another wagon. It would seem pressed up to the side of the Bedimir Mountains as you are, and concealed by the foothills. Someone else is passing through the valley and hasn't noticed you. A closer look at the wagon reveals the driver, an oxman, running the wagon through with what appears to be several shipments of some trade good. Though where it's headed through this route, uncertain. Do you wish to engage?
Yeah, I'll just, I'm presuming I think I was probably by a campfire or something, but I'll wave, try to get his attention.
The trader looks you over for a bit before stopping his wagon, turning it back in your direction, and pulling up. Oh, traveler. You've chosen an odd spot to take a rest. Is everything alright?
Well, this is our first time going through the area, and we wanted to make sure we had, a full day before we started trying to cross the mountains.
I see. Well, be wary of the morning winds. When heat comes in from the north and drifts southward, there's an eerie echo through this field, through this valley. Don't let it spook you.
Okay.
But,
All right.
while you've got me here, I'm a trader. I have goods. Would you like to peruse?
Sure.
Alright. He hops off of his wagon and untethers a bundle of tube-shaped containers, which he will pick up one by one and set down in front of you. Then open each of them to reveal, in turn, varying precious metals and gems in varying sizes. In the second tube, he reveals to you a bundle of spears, arrows, and other munitions. And in the third one, he reveals very fine quilts, carpets, and other foreign tapestries.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take a look at the gems, and I guess see if they seem familiar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whereabouts in the world does Gabriel come from? Remind me one more time.
He's from the Islands of Valar. I just meant if they resemble the gems from last night.
While many of them do not. Many of them are simple rubies, sapphires. You could swear you even see an emerald in this pile. There is one dark gem, totally opaque, but reflective and in the same shape as from those creatures you fought last night.
Okay, well, I'm gonna turn to the ox and say, "Oh, wow. You carry gems with you?"
I find it makes fine collateral when there's premiums to be made. You understand. Sometimes people wish to sell things that simple money cannot pay for.
That makes sense. Do you have like a person? I mean, do you have a contact with a mine or something?
Should say not, sir. Just a personal store. I've collected over years of trading in these parts.
Okay. Well, they're all very nice, but I don't have a ton of money on me. And then I guess I'm gonna point to the dark gem. This one in particular seems like very intriguing.
Thought it was a strange one too. Picked it up while I was moving around to the south just a while back.
Yeah.
Strangest thing, they just appear in the middle of fields, it seems. I can't make heads or tails of it, but I imagine it fetches a price, right?
I would certainly think so.
Well, if you're not looking to buy anything, I suppose I'll be off.
Well, I guess. And then I'm going to grab my wallet. So, if you were to part with the dark gem, how much would you pay for that? I mean, how much would I owe you for that?
He holds it up in his hand and says, "It's quite a small piece. I would part with it for 12 gold.
Okay. Yeah, then I'd like to do that. And I'll hand him the 12 gold for that.
Alright. You now have a very tiny piece of onyx. Black onyx, to be specific.
Okay. And with that, I'll like reach up to shake his hand. Thank you so much, and thank you for the advice.
You have a fine evening. Stay safe out there.
You too.
Oh, and one last thing.
Yeah?
I don't know what it's like in Alamance, but when you go traveling through the Trade League, it's safer to stay out of the woods. Persone, Lux End, anywhere south of here, Wingsmead even. This is where we believe the infected congregate.
Oh. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Of course. And then he'll round up his horses and head off.
And then I'll wave goodbye at him as he leaves. But like the moment that once he's gone, I'm gonna like find a box or something inside and just kind of shove the gem in there and close it real tight to look at later.
Right on. If that's all you have, the rest of the night will pass uneventfully. When you all wake, the sun is just cresting over the horizon, though it's quite hard to see behind the mountains of Bedimir. And the eerie howl of the wind passing through the valley makes itself known. It's not quite as loud as he let on, but it's a very deep and reverberating whistle through the valley. This, I suppose, serves as an alarm, because while she certainly wasn't awake before, Morgan certainly sits up and begins rubbing her eyes and looking outside.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Nice to have a good night of sleep. Are the others awake yet?
I'll have to go in and check. Somehow I doubt Manuelo is, but, we could be surprised.
I take insult to that, you know.
Are you awake to take insult?
Yes, Manuelo is definitely awake. He was moving to get outside.
Alright, well, I'll notice and say, oh, hey, rise and shine.
I take insult. Very easily.
eh, Gabriel's expression is just kind of drop, and then he holds his one arm and stares at the ground, kicking at the sand a little bit. Are the others awake?
Manuelo's just gonna look back real quickly, see if anyone else is awake.
That is up to... Yeah, I was about to say, that's up to you guys.
Beatrix is up and very, anxiously darkening the red spots in her fur to make them black.
Anyone else up? Or is that it?
Yeah, I think Aku probably wakes up to, and he's probably just sitting on his bed polishing whatever weapons he's seems needed.
Manuelo's just gonna walk out with the red panda just on his shoulder. He's gonna be like, they're up.
Oh, good. I guess everybody's awake, Morgan.
Good to hear. I can continue driving. I'm good now, if need be.
Okay. And then I guess I'll gesture towards the the howling winds, and say, a merchant came by last night. He said that this is apparent that the sound of this winds is just common in the mornings while you're in the valley. So, apparently it's nothing to be particularly worried about.
Good, she says with her relieved sigh and then a big stretch and a yawn. Good. Should we get moving then?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Manuelo's just gonna a merchant, you said? What was he selling?
He had a variety of things. He described his stock as sort of just things he's found during his travels. He had some weapons, some carpets, and some gems, and then Gabriel's gonna run in and grab that box where he left the onyx. and open that up and show everybody. And I think he found one of the gems from those creatures from last night. Yesterday.
How much did he sell it to you for?
12 gold. He said that he finds them out in the fields.
Manuelo's gonna do an Arcana check on the obsidian.
You look and look, but you find no obsidian to examine.
It was an onyx.
Oh,
Yeah.
my apologies. On the onyx.
Alright. Roll that Arcana.
Wait, I have advantage. I forgot about that.
Oh my god, you do.
Ignore the last roll. I'm doing the 2d20 right now.
Okay.
Well, that's a dirty 20.
So are you looking at the actual onyx right now, or is it still in the box?
I think I pulled it out of the box to show them.
Okay. Manuelo, you can sense a presence writhing within this onyx. Dormant for now, but yearning to return to the material plane. It would appear that this thing is still a vessel.
Thought? What
Man-
happened if we just smash it?
Well, no, so I just did the Arcana check. No one knows yet, just because I haven't shared it. But Manuelo's gonna share it.
Okay. Well,
So we
I think
want this
after
thing.
he says that, Gabriel's gonna quickly shove it back inside the box.
Do we really want to be carrying that around?
I feel like we want this thing gone.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Manuelo just say that the creature inside of it very much wants out? Like, we just gonna carry that thing around till that creature pops out and murders us in our sleep?
I guess I had just thought that if we made it into if we took the gem into town, then maybe someone would be able to have an idea of what in the world these things are. But
Well, I think what we can do is we'll keep it with us for now because we took out however many of those things the other night just fine. If one pops up, I think we'll be all right. Worst case scenario, you don't find anything out about it. Best case scenario, we can maybe sell it for a lot more than 12 gold.
okay. Yeah. So I think that it sounded like he always found them during the daytime, but he kept that one inside a tube during the night. So I'm wondering if maybe they'd need space to expand out, but I'm gonna keep a careful eye on this box, just for the time being.
Sounds like a good plan.
And then Gabriel's gonna eye the box suspiciously, and then just kind of set it down in the corner of the wagon.
Manuelo's familiar. Sniffs around the box for a while. And, attempts to nose it open.
Well, I guess I'm going to be snatching that from over there and just keeping it on my lap. during the journey.
Fair enough.
Manuelo's gonna grab the familiar and be like, buddy, no, 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 not good.
The panda doesn't seem to understand what it was doing wrong and looks up at you indignantly.
Nothing bad. We don't touch it. I don't want you getting hurt.
It pouts pitifully, but then nods. Further into the Bedamere Mountains you all travel. And finally, you come to the patch of foothills that stands between you and the Fortunata Hills, where you'll finally be free of the mountain range. There's just one teeny tiny problem. There's an outpost here, bearing all the signatures of the Trade League of Vignote. How did we decide we were pronouncing that officially, baby? Vignota? Vignote?
Vignote or Vignot or one of those. They all sound so dumb. It's such a weird word.
It's
I think it's just Vinny.
Vin what?
I think it's just Vinny.
I'll have to get with you on that later.
For sure.
Wait, hold up. Because I remember where that is in the book. I can
Yeah.
figure out, like, the...
It's spelled Vinyot.
Wait, hold up. Deer made a character where that was from.
True.
And that character was supposed to be Russian. Essentially.
Well, yes, but that's not accurate to the setting. They give you naming conventions at the beginning of the species section, and I would imagine the general, like, local cultural stuff follows along with the language of the naming conventions. And for the Trade League, it's Italian.
Ooh.
Either way, I just wanted you guys to know there's a checkpoint here.
First.
Yeah. Morgan is headed right for it, unaware that there's anything wrong besides, that Beatrix would rather not be here.
Yeah, before we get too close, Beatrix is gonna, like, poke her head up to talk to Morgan and be like, ooh, do you think there's any way we can get around that without going through it?
Well, our wagon isn't exactly equipped with all-terrain wheels, and, well, this isn't the rim of the sky where I can just bike up a mountain.
Ain't no way.
I was worried you would say that. Okay, she's gonna go back inside and try to grab anything that belongs to her and, like, stuff it somewhere to hide it, including all of her forgery kits and stuff. And then as we approach, she's gonna turn invisible.
Oh, shit.
Just hiding all of my shit, putting as much, like, carrying it as much of it on my person as I can, because that'll automatically make it invisible. Anything that I can't carry, getting stuffed somewhere and hidden, then just turning invisible.
Alright, now that Beatrix is gone, who wants to be the face of this diplomacy that's about to happen? Because if you let it be Morgan, it'll be out of your hands. What happens next?
Okay, I guess I can.
Okay. Right on. So Morgan pulls you guys up to the Trade League outpost. where you're stopped and greeted by a uniformed fellow. Not looking like your average guard, but not like military either. Just like a particularly well-equipped adventurer, more like. Either way, he'll hold his pike at rest as he hails you and says, "All right. So, let's just get this over with. What is your business here exactly?"
Hi. My name's Gabriel. We are we're mainly just passing through on our way to, Aloris.
I see. Is this a personal visit? Got family in town?
I guess I'd say it's technically business. There's there's some people in that town who need medical help, and I'm heading out there to see what I can do to help them.
Are you intending deception, or just being vague about being on a mission from the Kingdom of Alamance?
Vague.
Okay. You'll respond, well, that's all well and good. Then I suppose you have a work visa and passports, yes?
I think so. The paperwork's all in the wagon. Give me a second to check on that.
Take your time. And he'll step away from the wagon, but still body blocking the gate.
Okay. Do we actually have paperwork, or... Because I thought I remembered us having things, but I don't remember a passport specifically.
You have been given... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, nothing was specifically prepared for this, and nothing that Beatrix can provide is a legitimate document, but we can probably... Like, she probably has a forged, like, travel pass that she, put together with a trade lord's name on it, and no sellsword is going to question the orders of one of the lords, so she could just drop that out of her bag in front of you, there you go. Some bullshit fucking note giving us right to cross the border.
I mean, I can try it. I was trying to remember if we got anything about our actual official work.
There is a work visa that you guys were granted by the general at... Sorry, let me remind myself what the place was called. Fort Kingsfang. You would have that, but not having a passport to identify yourselves personally will still be a problem.
Okay. You know what? I'll come out with the letter from the general. And, hand that over to him. So, we have this notice to head over there, but, they didn't inform us ahead of time that we'd need to get passports prepared.
I see. So you don't have passports then?
Official passports, no. I can find you other ID documentation.
While this is happening, Manuel is just like pulling out like his passport. It's like, oh, nobody else has one? What?
Any chance I could sleight of hand slip fake passports into Aku and Gabriel's pockets?
If you take an action while you're invisible, you will cease to be invisible.
Oh fuck yeah, it's any action. Fuck.
In fact, I think dropping that thing earlier would have counted, but I'm gonna be nice and say it didn't.
Well, also we didn't end up doing it, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Rex. So yeah. He's under the impression that you guys don't have passports. Manuelo has produced something. Be it a legitimate passport or otherwise, but he's gonna be like, sorry, but if I can't identify each of you, I'm afraid I can't let you through. New restrictions on travel, given the plague.
Hey baby,
Go ahead.
I looked it up just to be sure, and invisibility says the spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell. It's not any action.
Okay. Then yeah, go for it.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, let me go in and see what documents I can find. Maybe they did give us passports in the package, but, if not, then I'm sure we have some other form of ID. Sorry for all the trouble.
You alright? Not as much trouble as the trader who came through here yesterday.
I spoke with him for a moment last night. He seems so nice.
Yes, but he came here for business, with no visa. And he was not happy he would not be let through.
Oh.
You didn't hear it from me, but he's spending a night in Fortunato jail.
Oh. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and close the door and meet back up for the group huddle again.
That's crazy.
Damn. I rolled a 17 and an 18 to try and sneak those in their pockets and just say, check them before you hand them over.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'll open up my forged passport here to double check its contents.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Alright. Now Beatrix, did you try to give them documents that indicated their real identities, or...
No, that's why I told them to check it, because I don't have fake documents for them just lying around, so I just gave them some of my random documents that I've put together.
Oh, okay, so now I got an alias.
Yep.
I tried to pick out the most gender neutral names I had available and slipped one in each of their pockets.
Alright. I got dibs on Jordan then.
You all take some time to make peace with your new identities, and I suppose you have passports now.
Yep. I'll go ahead and open the door and hand the guy Manuelo's passport first, followed by the other two. So I checked, and it looks like they had put passports in our bags, but they were just in a different piece of luggage than the other documents. Weird.
Can I get your permission to say all that stuttering was in character?
It wasn't intended to be, but I suppose.
No,
That way.
It's fine. I'm not gonna make it unfun. I just think it'd be funny if he like squints at you. But no, he'll have a check over the passports and say, well, Mr. Jordan, Moreno, Miles, Jacob. What, is everyone in there a man?
Is there a problem with that?
Well, no, Who is she? He would say, gesturing to Morgan.
I don't see
Hold
what's so weird about her name being more masculine.
Okay, you're right. Yep. He kind of throws up his hands and backs away.
Wow, what a way to gender shame someone, man. How
Right.
unfair.
That's all right. We're good.
Just gonna give this guard shit now that he's letting you through.
Right.
This man gender insulted someone, like insulting someone for their name being masculine while they were female. Who knows what could have happened? They could have just had surgery or something.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's not take this
I'm
to a
gonna-
weird place. Go for it, Gabriel.
I'm gonna smile, shake his hand. Thank you, and again, sorry for the mix-up. I'll be sure to have our documents more in order on the return trip.
Right on. Just depending on where you're trying to go, if you want to get anywhere in the Trade League, you're probably going to want to head west. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's quite a few infected in the woods, but just keep your heads down, don't make too much noise, and whatever they say to you, don't let them get close.
Okay.
He will grab your wrist and say, I mean it now. Don't let them get close.
I'm gonna double check his hand. See if there's any sign of sores on him.
Does not appear to be. It seems this is just a very over-concerned stranger.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna look back up at him a bit scared by this move. We'll do everything we can to stay safe.
Good. He'll whisper as he lets go of your wrist. Don't let them get close.
At this point, I'm gonna say nothing but back away slowly.
And then
until I get to the point where I can close the door.
he will watch you go and then turn, walk back to the gate, and open it up for your wagon to pass through. And Morgan wastes no time pushing you on through the foothills to Fortunata.
As soon as we make it through, like, past the other side of the outpost, Beatrix will drop the invisibility and just be like, well, that was close.
Beatrix, I did it! And then I'm gonna go for a high five.
Nice. She'll high five Gabriel. Now, I'll make you all passports with your actual names.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy to help, especially if it keeps us out of trouble with the sellswords. They've never had outposts on the border before. Guess the plague's changed things since I was here last.
Yeah, that guard seemed particularly freaked out by the plague. Hopefully it's not... He made it sound like it's pretty common here, but hopefully it's not everyone by now.
Well, the Trade League was one of the first places to begin putting measures in place to combat the infection. I'd like to imagine they handled it a little better than Alamance did.
Yeah. Sick employees don't make for high productivity, after all.
That said, don't expect everyone here to be so friendly. If there's a job to be done, they will walk right past you. No greetings, no conversations. It's just the way things work here.
It's the way I like it, personally.
let's hurry on. All right, DM time. I'm the DM now, talking to you guys. It's 5:56. We can get through Luck's End and the encounter I have planned for that, but it will push us into overtime. Do we want that?
I'd be fine with going over. I just want like a quick bathroom break first.
Usually I
But-
would be down, but I need food.
Okay.
I bet you do, baby. You haven't eaten since this morning.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm. If anyone can't do it, then we're gonna call it here. But thank you guys for playing, and thank you to those of you who showed up. I've had fun. I hope you all did as well. And
Yeah, it was a good time.
be looking for the upload next week. Same time the next stream is going to be. I'll be uploading this episode, the VOD, to YouTube at youtube.com/@Matiorasu.yt. Let me just pop that into the chat as well. As I said at the top, you can also find all these wonderful people, Gabriel, Aku, on their own channels. Those links will be in the description. And yeah, I just hope everyone has a nice evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Adios and stay safe out there.